Hello there. Let me have my morning tea and welcome to my website. I'm Jim Brown. I'm glad you're looking things over today. I want to comment a little bit about a column I wrote this week about March Madness basketball. I know that we're not a normally sports oriented program, but I'd like to comment about my concerns. I'm a basketball groupie. I love college basketball. It's been in my blood for many, many years. My dad was an all-star junior college player, played AAU basketball up in Kansas City, got me interested in basketball. Then we used to go see the St. Louis Billikens play a whole lot there in St. Louis when they were at the height of their popularity. Very popular team then. And I followed basketball, played high school basketball, had the great honor of being the number one recruit, the first recruit ever by legendary North Carolina coach Dean Smith. I went to North Carolina, didn't play basketball that much. I wasn't as good as some of the other players, but I did get recruited by Coach Smith, went on and ran track instead, and have been following basketball ever since. When Dean Smith won the national championship on two different occasions, they played at the Superdome in New Orleans. I was right there behind the team on both those occasions. Coach Smith sent me a commemorative basketball signed by all the players. In 1982, it was signed. One of the signatures was Michael Jordan, for example. I prize those basketballs. If you ever want to come by my office, I'll let you take a look at them. Then I've come to Baton Rouge, where my home is in Louisiana. I'm a big LSU basketball fan. I've had season tickets for LSU basketball for probably 25 or 30 years. So I'm very much focused on basketball. But there's a sadness now. It's just not the same. And it comes down, quite frankly, to money that we see so much in all of college athletics. Liza Minnelli's quote or the song in Cabaret, money makes the world go around. Well, it certainly does in college sports. In football, my home school of LSU is paying a football coach $12 million not to coach. He was fired, but he gets $12 million. There's $3 million in buyouts for other coaches, $15 million a year, just not to show up and coach. But at least in football, we didn't see the scandals that are brewing as we see in college basketball. We certainly see those today. Recently, the FBI now is undertaking a full investigation of college basketball. I believe 10 coaches and agents have been arrested, 17 schools under direct examination or review, and they're all major programs. They're Duke, my alma mater of North Carolina, Michigan. All the major schools are under investigation right now. What they're doing, they have a rule called one and done, where these hotshot college players can come in for 1 year, which is required by the National Basketball Association, the NBA. If you go to college at all, you've got to stay. You can stay just 1 year. So they go and make their name as a hotshot All-American, often never go to class, and then go into the NBA. And for the incentive to do that often is from alumni or something the coaches kind of wink at, where that player or the family is paid big money. And the allegations that is being made right now in the investigations, a number of players received $100,000, so the investigation says, or their family did, just to go to a particular school. And as I say, coaches have been arrested and fired under programs that are now under investigation. It also goes into the academic fraud that is just prevalent in college athletics. As I say, I bleed Carolina blue, having gone to the University of North Carolina, a school I love. But a major academic scandal has been going on for years there, where athletes were able to not even go to class and get a passing grade, even get A's and B's, not show up at all, have a tutor write their papers for them. And this has been going on for a long time. And the coaches say, well, we knew nothing about it. That's hard for me to believe, quite frankly. If a coach did know nothing about it, then the coach is not doing their job of monitoring those players in the first place. And you say, well, the NCAA ought to be coming in, the oversight group, an investigation. But of course, money is the incentive there for them to leave the whole situation alone, the rotten situation alone. The NCAA will make out of the March Madness tournaments alone $1 billion a year. $1 billion. That's from the TV contracts, the TV rights. So they don't have any incentive to really investigate. As a consequence, the whole thing just has a bad odor, a bad smell to it. So I guess I'll say I'm going to keep my basketball tickets at LSU I've had for 25 or 30 years. I'll still cheer on my Tar Heels. Like to go back there once or twice a year for a game in the Dean Dome. First game I ever played at the Dean Dome in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I was there for the grand opening with my one of my daughters went with me. So I'll still be there to watch it, but it's just not the same. And quite frankly, instead of March Madness, I have to look on as March Sadness. The edge is off, and I hope it comes back. But quite frankly, with all the money driving college basketball, I'm not too optimistic. And so enjoy this week's column. Thanks for looking at my website. Talk to you next week.